Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 169 of Dissonant Waves. My name is Dominic,
Nice.
and this is an episode about the golden era of YouTube comedy. 169. You get it?
Ah, fuck.
Nice.
Anyway, Ritz and Trix are here. Usual cast.
Hello.
And
Hell yeah.
we've got a returning guest. Who are
Hi. I'm Peter. You probably know me as Minimme. I review video games and not music, but I am a YouTuber. And considering this is the episode about old YouTube humor, I'm here for it.
It was not planned to be that way, but we all made it that way.
No, not at all.
But here we are. We got 4 albums and an EP to talk about. And it's different sections, so I'll kind of go through them as I talk about what I'm introducing here. I chose the Lonely Island's Incredibad, which is to me like the early YouTube, like, oh, let's go online and see what Saturday Night Live put out this week, and like let's put Dick in a Box at like 100 million views in like a year or something like that. It's that early age of like, let's hop online and see it again. Mini-Me, Pete, you chose Tenacious D. That is the pre-YouTube, like, oh man, have you seen the tribute video? Oh man, have you seen the HBO show? There's clips on YouTube.
Yeah. I feel like even that album is so tied to YouTube with that tribute video.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like, it was before, but it was just like that shit that was on there early. It was, clipped
Yeah.
and remixed and put everywhere. I was sharing some of the early Phoenix Wrong videos that just had it there. Ritz, you chose Flight of the Conchords self-titled, which was something that was adjacent to what the Lonely Island was doing. I don't think Flight of the Conchords was as popular on YouTube, but they were definitely a backbone of like internet comedy, HBO, musical shit at the time.
Yes.
And then Trix, you chose, well, your EP was Sonseed's Jesus is a Friend of Mine, which is a great example of the mimetic nature of things. When we all latch onto a song on the internet and like, man, that's weird, that sounds cool, that's funny, let's just keep listening to it. And you also chose... Go ahead.
Which I regret to pick that one, honestly. We'll get into it later.
And then you also went to the opposite end and you chose like an album that is prime like YouTubers trying to do things era, like for the first time when they're just, I'm going beyond making videos and I'm making an album. And that's Ninja Sex Party's debut album, NSFW, from 2011.
Well, you know that NSFW predates like Dan's whole Game Grumps sort of deal.
Does it really?
It does.
I never watched Game Grumps.
Game Grumps was
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
I actually only watched the start of it. I know it's problematic, but I only watched JonTron era. That was just back in the day. Back when we thought JonTron wasn't as a bit of a mess as he is now. And that was like 2012 or something, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I don't know my Grumps lore. I'll be honest.
Maybe even a bit after that, because he was actually only on Game Grumps for like a year or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a thing of, that was when I started looking at videos online. And I turned off Game Grumps because they were doing that hyper, like, wow, look at this game, guys. Oh my god, kind of shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, it's
why
funny.
that's why I started watching Mini-Me, actually, is because you weren't doing that.
Wow.
So I was correct. Yeah, JonTron era, the start of Game Grumps was 2012, and Dan joined from 2013, and then obviously, it's been Dan and Aaron.
That being said,
ever since, which is
The thing about Aaron,
weird to think about.
Yeah.
it's funny. I was listening to this Ninja Sex Party album, and like the name Aaron Hansen just came to my head, and I didn't like connect the dots to Game Grumps or anything. I remember this album in high school as like there was like a nerdy kid in my class who thought it was really funny, and that was all the context I had in my head before I listened to it this week. And I listened to it, and I'm like, the comedy of this album must have something to do with Aaron Hansen. And so I Googled Ninja Sex Party, and like the very first paragraph on Wikipedia is like, they are a frequent collaborator with Aaron Hansen. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it all just started clicking into place for me what that album's about.
Now, it is worth mentioning that, yes, Game Grumps came later. We have established that now. But the videos were on YouTube. It was, like, very much like that
Oh yeah.
early YouTube genesis of, like, we're going to put out funny videos. And, well, it's a channel now. Oh, it's more than that now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was I was mostly just correcting, like, you thought it was an existing YouTuber putting out music.
That's fair. That's fair to correct on that. But, like, it still fits. It's just not as nicely fitting together as I want it to.
No.
We might as well just start here since we're already talking about it.
Well, I want to point out the absolute bullshit trivia that we're going to do when it comes to Ninja Sex Party. That I'm just going on to their Wikipedia right now and going like, oh yeah, that's right, that was a fucking thing. Do any of you remember the classic shit web series called Dick Figures? Which
No.
is prime
Yes,
high
I
school
do.
humor.
I
don't
remember
know what that is.
Dan was attached to it somehow.
So it was very edgy humor. It wasn't. It's not that bad when you go back to it and you go like, oh, this is really racist. It's only just a little sexist. And a lot of the humor is just there that exists in the shows. It was obscene. And the drawings are very crude. They were literally stick figures. I think there was like one character whose whole bit was that they had Tourette's and they kept swearing all the time, which it was funny when you were in high school, but then you go back, it's like that's just a good old classic stereotype. It's not so funny these days.
Yeah.
And also randomly had some they had credibility with a bunch of other people in the scene. Like you look at the credits right now on the movie here, which is where I'm going back, which is where Ninja Sex Party did the soundtrack for. And you look at some of the voice actors, and it's the people from Cyanide and Happiness and Thomas Ridgewell, or otherwise known as Tomska.
Yes.
Oh shit! Okay, that's very of that scene. This whole album is like epitomizing that scene. That I think that myself and Dominic kind of actively avoided.
Yes.
What it sounds like.
I never got into Ninja Sex Party.
Neither did
I never listened to them until now, which is weird with how much of the scene that I did care for back when I was in high school. I mean, even Astef is actually kind of still watchable these days, the early ones. It is just random humor, and that is what it is. It is a period of its time. But there are some moments which are like just so stupid it actually kind of was funny and still does. It still does hold up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all of it is. In fact, most of it isn't.
But, I mean, that's how I would describe this album, right? Like, there's a couple of moments where it's fun.
A couple?
I mean, how do you all feel about it? What would you give it out of 5?
I would almost give this a 0. I fucking hated this.
Wow. Okay.
I give it like a 1 or 2 for being generous. Like,
same.
It's so.
I can't bring myself to this album.
It's so 2011, junior year, sophomore year of high school. Like, everyone's discovering the internet. Everyone's being online now, and it's like, oh my god, these funny YouTube videos that are all about dicks and shit. And like, me being the like edgy teenager being like, well, I'm gonna just watch my video game videos over here and ignore all you fucking people. And I was right.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to mention something else about this that I think is really 2011, and you might not kind of consider it until you kind of like think about it again. But sometimes the humor in this album isn't funny, it's just mean. Like, the whole joke is just making fun out of this guy who can't defend himself because he doesn't speak at all in the album.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mean.
Yeah.
Like,
it's really a thing that kind of happens in that.
It's funny that we're talking about
this dog pile on someone.
We're talking about this first, right? And so we can compare it to Tenacious D if we want. But, like, it's so trying to be Kyle and Rage Cage, but it's not.
Right?
But I mean,
it just isn't
JB
natural.
and Rage Cage, but yes. They're trying to do that, and they're like, let's just make the one guy silent, and the other guy's a sex maniac who just shits on him all the time.
Well,
I think it's really funny that you're comparing this to Tenacious D when I'm on the Wikipedia, and that's literally the only band that we're covering outside of Sonseed, I guess, sorry, that they aren't claiming to be inspired from. Because they're claiming to be inspired from the Lonely Island and Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah,
Oh.
right. Yeah.
Well,
Like, Tenacious D gets a lot of mileage out of just saying Kyle's name. Like, there's something funny about these sort of, like, very demonstrative heavy metal lyrics about devils and shit, and then they're just saying Kyle. And I feel like this album kind of does the same thing with Ninja Brian. It's like the punchline isn't Ninja Brian a funny name, but it doesn't quite land. I don't know.
Well,
but it doesn't work because there's
let's do
Danny
the other
Sexbang
thing.
is also a name.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
will
not
say-
just that. I'll let Trix go. Sorry.
I will say the joke does kind of get funnier when you realize that like Brian Wecht, aka Ninja Brian, is like a PhD in theoretical physics and like spoke at CERN and shit.
So is Brian May.
That's
Who
fine.
gives a
Yeah,
shit?
Yeah.
I give a shit, but like
that's basically the point. Yeah.
it's unrelated.
Like, you're listening to this as an album. Like as an album, you don't get to actually hear Brian do anything. And I'll compare it to Tenacious D because Jack Black rips on Kyle G a lot during that album as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the big difference: is that Kyle actually gets to have his moments in there that makes you feel sorry for him in there when he gets to actually respond. You don't get to feel sorry for Brian because he doesn't get to have a fucking say or anything like that. He's just been like fucking completely taken out of us, and then well, at the end it's like, oh, he's done all the instrumentation, so I'm actually really liking him, and then just dogpiles on him again, and it's like, I don't know, I get that's just a part of the humor. I'm not offended on anyone's part here
Mhm.
because I actually just can't care about anyone, but that's the big difference with Tenacious D. It's a lot easier to have that pity for Kyle Cass in there because he gets the same amount of fucking screen time as well. So it's not like it's just it's not just dogpiling and then we're all laughing and then moving on. It feels actually mean. It actually feels like in this case it is just a fucking skit. Now whether or not that skit is funny is a completely different thing altogether. It's irrelevant. It's just how to get that actual emotion, and it's just. Yeah, this is just fucking. I mean, also if Danny Sexbang was actually good at a fucking musician, maybe I would allow him to be a bit more of an asshole on this. But I don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think
I never even thought about this aspect of the album. I'm going to be honest. I guess it is me. I think it comes down like more to a tonal thing than anything else. I don't actually feel sorry for Ninja Brian or KG. It's just like it just feels a bit like a tired joke in this.
No, but you would feel more sorry for KG than you would for Brian, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What do you? I guess so.
would you? I mean,
you feel like this, listening as an album. You feel like there's more attachment to KG.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
like Jack Black at least has like there's an idea that he's like accepting of his faults and he knows he's kind of an asshole. I feel like, and like
Yeah.
the shit that he does is like objectively stupid and absurd and therefore a bit more funny. Like Karate Kick Your Ass is a ridiculous song, and like you compare that to something like Objects of Desire, and Objects of Desire is just being weird for 2.5 minutes. Like, I'm gonna fuck all your objects because we're dating. Like, okay, that's a song, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you could draw lines from everything in this album, or most things in this album, to something else and something else you've listened to this week. And almost every time, it's gonna be better somewhere else.
I think it's easier to talk about other things when talking about this album because this album's so lacking in like substance. I don't know. It's a weird one. I think there were like there's a song late in it. I think it was called like I Just Want to Dance.
Yeah.
I just want to dance.
I didn't mind that song. It sounded like a nice little Elton John throwback. And that was kind of a departure from the little space age thing. Like there are a handful of moments where I was like, there's kind of this like innocent like 14-year-old talking about sex quality to it that is kind of fun, and I kind of see what they're getting at there. But like otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, but then you go into that innocence, and then you talk about accept my shot. It's not even funny. It's just a rape joke.
Or No Reason Boner,
Yeah.
if we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
No Reason
let's talk
Boner.
about No Reason Boner.
That's the No Reason Boner is like a great example of like how to do it wrong, and I think Lonely Island does it a lot better.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Look, I posted the most, like, unfortunately aged lyric from that song.
Yes.
In front of the children.
And, like, that's that era of, like, we know that you're tired of being talked down to, you kids, so here's the real deal. We're all sex-crazed adults.
It was the era of Pedo Bear.
Yes.
Oh
Yes!
god, yeah.
The
A
worst
lot
thing,
of pedo bear from this album.
the worst thing I ever did when I was still a child and went to my first anime conventions was buying a Pedo Bear shirt. I was a child in high school and I wore that shirt. That's 2011.
How did you when did you realize that you should stop wearing it? How did that
Probably
go?
after the 7th beating.
I only had it for like a year. I don't know what happened to it. And then after a while,
Right.
like, why did I have that?
I'm so glad I never wore anything cringe hides the Trilby collection.
But, like, this is, like, everything about this is just that idea of, like, sex and, like, pedo shit and rape shit. It's all funny because it's not real. It's not really happening. It's all a joke.
There is one exception to all of that, though.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, this shining light on this album, Dinosaur Laser Fight.
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't agree.
God damn it.
No.
That is
You've
raw
been
random
Trix.
XD as fuck. It's just like, oh my god, what if there were dinosaurs and lasers and they're just fighting in space? It's like,
I like the imaginative.
it's not imaginative though. It's like the basic shit.
That one felt the most like Newgrounds to me. I was
Yeah.
thinking of like Flash games when that was playing.
That one was actually an animated music video.
I'm sure.
Oh, there you
it was.
go.
But that's like the 3-year-old is taking control and being like, what if there were dinosaurs and they were fighting with lasers in space?
Yeah,
I like just how charming it is to me. Like I can't explain it. That might just be because I have listened to this album a lot when I was in high school. Like this and Lonely Island were like some of the, and Tenacious D were all some of like the albums I listened to a lot on repeat. So
The other two, yes.
I'll blame that.
Some of them, yes. But like we haven't even talked about like if we were gay.
yeah, that one's troubling.
yeah.
I saw it was one of the most listened to on Spotify as well, which was something.
Did
Because-
we have to talk about it?
As the resident homo, I should. Like, okay, it's the joke that actually they are kind of gay because they're doing a lot of homoerotic imagery and oh my god, where he's gonna push the blame on the Ninja Brian, but you know, he's also talking about it a lot and singing about it a lot, so it's also kind of reflective on him. Yada yada yada. That's basic Lonely Island shit. Lonely Island does it a lot better.
Yeah.
In that context, sure. Whatever. If We Were Gay comes off a lot better than No Reason Boner. It comes off a lot better than Sex Training. It comes off a lot better than some of the other shit in here. Because there's at least a level of, like, joke, but also this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the joke and the also this is still just one line of, like, let's write a homoerotic song where we're talking about not being gay, but being gay, but also he's gay, but also I might be.
Yeah.
Again, very 2011, very, like...
It is, isn't it? It's back in school when we were using gay as an insult.
But also, like, in that
Um,
weird era of, like, everyone's, like, cognizant of, like, gayness and, like, all that shit happening and, like, becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not,
It was almost a crossroads between
Yes. Yes.
those. It's a weird song.
And then-
This whole album makes me feel uncomfortable.
What else is it meant to do?
Like, it's not absurd enough for the crazy wackiness to come off as completely insincere. I think that's my issue. I don't know.
I just want to just remind everybody as well, though, just to get a good point at the age you are, and just remind yourself that Dan Everton was 32 years old when this album released.
Whoa, I didn't know that. I don't know anything about it. Didn't you say one of them has like allegations or something? Did you mention that? Should we get into that?
That was Dan. It's a very weird one because it seems legally he's off the hook, but I
Right.
also don't think morally he is.
Okay.
I'm just saying, being 34 years old and then going to hook up with an 18-year-old that you had met before they had turned 18 isn't a good look
Right.
on anybody. Like, I
That's
Yeah.
feel like
dubious.
if you double the age of somebody in this case before they've turned 18, and even with a bunch of other reasons, it probably doesn't matter too much. In the case of this, it's kind of like a whole put your dick in your fucking pants. Um,
Sure.
I-
Yeah,
I
that
I
does take away a bit from this album.
I had to
also
look because there's been theories. I will get back to you in a second, Trix, as well. That Dan took a while to be. It was a late bloomer, I guess, is the inoffensive term that we use. And I was checking the age in there because I really figured it's quite a possibility that he was a virgin on this album because just it sounds like somebody who's bragging. I don't know. This is supposed to be that joke of we're just unsuccessful with sex, we're self-aware. No, this really sounds like someone who's brags like they're having a lot of sex and are trying to say, some of it's ironic with the fucking
Right.
quotation marks. It
Yeah.
didn't really get that much self-awareness out there, did it?
I don't know. I give it a little more. Like, listening to it, not knowing any of that context, I did feel it was all kind of a joke for the most part. But there were
I
parts where I was like, "This is a bit weird."
I
don't
didn't get that vibe that it was. I mean, I
Okay.
know it is. I just didn't get it from listening.
Sounds like we're pretty down on this album.
Oh yeah, I hated this. This is bad.
I didn't hate it. It's
I don't want to hear
listenable
Dan's
enough.
opinions on Israel.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
is
find
it?
it unlistenable.
I was cringing from like the first song. This was pretty close to
Okay.
unlistenable for me.
This is what I
know I'm
expected
being
going
harsh.
into
Maybe
it.
maybe
How
I'm just a dick,
horrible
but
is it?
Trixie
How
sounds so
horrible is
defeated.
Because I'm about to say something kind of sad. How horrible is it that I know every word to this album?
pretty bad.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not good.
we all had bad taste once.
Oh, I still have bad
Yeah,
taste. I'm just too
Yeah,
proud of
same.
it.
Honestly.
One of my
I'm pretty
favorite
sure.
bands has allegations against them, and I still listen to them.
I'm pretty sure I had bad taste in DVD back at home.
I had a poster of it on my wall in high school.
Yeah, we've all got bad taste. Dominic, do you own a copy of Bad Taste?
No, but I did talk about that shirt I wore, so that counts.
Yeah, true.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Dominic doesn't own a copy of Bad Taste because that seems like exactly up his alley.
The only
Yeah, I
Peter Jackson
agree.
movies
You
I've
should check out
seen
Bad
are the
Taste.
Tolkien ones.
Bad Taste is a pretty crazy movie. I think you'd like it.
I probably
I have
would.
no idea what bad taste is. I will have to.
I've never. It's Peter Jackson before he got big during an Alien film. I haven't
It's like an
actually seen it. I
indie
just-
alien film with all like
Yeah.
handmade props. It's pretty crazy.
That sounds awesome. I
It-
do
it's
remember
great.
that he did B movies before Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Gotcha.
And it's easier to talk about other things when talking about this album. How good's Bad Taste?
I still need to actually see it.
So, a couple things to mention here. Aaron Hansen is on one track, Dinosaur Laser Fight, apparently.
Makes sense.
And this was on the U.S.
Okay.
Billboard 200 chart. It ranked at 55 overall.
Yeah, let's not act like the
Good.
Billboard charts matter.
No, but that
Wow.
means that people were fucking buying the album and listening to it.
Yeah, because this was pre-streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
Like, comedy album charts, who gives a shit? But overall, that this was like anywhere on the Billboard charts meant something at the time, at least. Especially for like a self-released album.
We all know what it is. Like, Ninja Sex Party are pretty famous, probably exclusively amongst people our age.
Yeah.
I
Well,
never really heard about them
Well-
until Trix brought them up, honestly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew about them.
I've
but-
got to
remember
disappoint. I've got to disappoint Pete with our country. One of their albums did hit the ARIA charts.
Oh, Jesus.
At 82, their 2016 one.
Wow.
82. It's the only album.
That
So
was
how
their
did-
covers album too.
Yeah.
Right.
But Volume 3, whilst it didn't enter the albums chart, did peak at number 12 at the digital albums chart, which I don't know what the difference is that Aria's always had some bullshit charting, but
That's pretty crazy. Like,
oh yeah, the first fucking song is a cover of Take On Me. Of course I'd fucking charted.
There's a couple Rush covers on there too.
So that's a great example of like that era of YouTube is like what song should we cover? The really famous ones that everyone knows because the music videos are on fucking YouTube.
Oh,
Hey,
no,
they even
covered
Yeah.
a Rush song nobody knows. They covered fucking Madrigal.
Chicks, they covered an Oingo Boingo song. No, it wasn't that one.
Dead Man's Party?
We close our eyes.
We close our eyes.
Nah.
Anyway,
Hmm.
Ninja Sex Party. We are.
Honestly, I think I peaked at my groomer jokes at that one.
I think we have a decision to make, and that's to say if we have any favorites or least favorites at all.
Oh no, this sucked.
Favorites are Dennis or Laser Fight.
Uh,
I still really like that song.
Didn't mind.
And
I just want to dance.
I can't hate anything off this album either, I'll be honest.
That's fair.
I didn't love anything. I didn't hate. There was stuff I disliked, but I didn't like abhor it like Ritz does.
Yeah,
So-
I wasn't viscerally against this album. I was just like, this is very of its time and could be better.
I just want to say that this was loved by people who told me I had terrible taste, and whilst I do have terrible taste, it really comforts me to know that so did they.
Mm. It's a nice note to leave that one on, I think.
All right, let's throw it to your side of the world and just talk about Flight of the Conchords for a bit.
All right, Flight of the Conchords, the debut album from New Zealand folk comedy duo Flight of the Conchords, featuring Bread and Stew, and occasionally Rhys Darby. This was a HBO show from an original radio show that was in New Zealand, so it kind of somehow went from radio show to actual show, which oddly I think is kind of like the breakout for Kristen Schaal. I think she actually probably got a lot more of the popularity than Flight of the Conchords did out of that.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the people involved have obviously come out and had bigger careers. I mean, Taika Waititi's been involved in a couple of Flight of the Conchords episodes, so definitely
I love that, man.
definitely not people lost to the ages in that. The whole premise was it was a duo who illegally immigrated from New Zealand to New York, and the whole show is just basically New Zealand humor. It's great.
I need to watch it.
I have both seasons on DVD. It didn't do well enough for a third.
Oh,
Sounds about right.
That's the introduction.
I know it's
Yeah.
wrong. I know that's not this person, but I'm always gonna confuse Jermaine Clement with Richard Ayoade.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
It's
Yeah.
the humor compared to the 3 or the 4 other albums we listened to. The humor of this one is way less American.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it hits an extremely different tone. It's way more sarcastic. What did you guys think of it? We should start there, shouldn't we? Why am I hosting this? Dominic.
Also, who gives a shit? Do what you want. You're a
All right.
guest.
Yeah.
This was fine. I was reminded of my cousin would listen to like the Kevin Smith CDs when I was a kid.
Right.
And this reminded me of that a little bit. Like, it's kind of funny.
Kevin Smith,
Go ahead.
when I think Kevin Smith, the first thing that pops into my head is not anything that like he's written or done. It's one of his fucking tweets.
The one
is
about
it?
being eaten out, I'm sure.
It's like his wife and it's like celebrating his anniversary, and it's like my wife and I are so in love, we cheat on each other with each other. Her clit brown taint area pones my dick or something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I had to share that tangent.
Like, all I remember from the Kevin Smith CD is like the opening. The opening is just it's something called Motherfuck, and it's just a bunch of motherfucks over and over and over. And like this isn't that, but it kind of has a little bit of that. I don't know. There's something there that I feel is a little.
I mean, there's a joke song, Mother Uckers, which the whole joke is that they're not actually swearing because they're too afraid to swear.
Yes, I got that. And there's Mother Flippin' from Hippopotamus versus Rhyme. Oh
Yeah.
god, Rhinoceros. There we go.
Rhymenosterous, right? Yeah.
I'll do my take just so everybody gets less afraid.
Mm.
I do like this album. I picked it because I like it. I think the actual comedy elements of this album is lost a bit in time, and a lot of it gets lost without seeing the show. Like there's in Inner City Pressure is like the first moment I can talk about it where you lose your camera phone. Where that's not like just a phone that they run about in a different way. There's a joke in which I think it's Jermaine makes Brett a camera phone where he glues a phone and a camera together, and
That's
both
true.
of them become unusable.
Hell yeah.
Pretty good.
And when they're during the hippopotamus song, they're trying to fight off like these thugs, and they do the hip hop song, and then they get robbed. That's the joke. A lot of it gets lost without watching the show, and that's whatever. And there are some things which I don't think you need the show for. I think they just don't really make you laugh as much. I think they're a little bit of a flop. That being said, some of the actual songwriting on this album is fantastic.
Yeah, it's the most
You ain't gonna tell me. You ain't gonna tell me Business Time doesn't actually kind of funk as a song.
Business Time was my favorite. That song goes off. Like sonically, this is quite a delightful little sort of like Beatles folk rock, folk pop kind of thing going on that I like. They're quite talented. I'm impressed, but it wasn't as like laugh out loud from the comedy front.
Yeah, it's more straight laced.
It doesn't go in your face. It doesn't go in your face with it.
Yeah, it's not like shock humory like something like The Lonely Island is.
It's
like
a sensible chuckle.
Like Fotofava is like,
like
that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I would actually argue the funniest song off this record is "The Most Beautiful Girl in the Room," where it has all those lines which are just it's so like, holy shit, you fumbled it in a way I couldn't expect you to fumble it.
I mean, that said, it's also not it's not immune to being of its time either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of these albums are like that.
Yeah.
This is the most direct comparison to If We Were Gay with Ladies of the World.
Yeah.
It's
the one where you're like,
Yeah, meeting adjourned.
2008. What a time.
It is funny how like a lot of the jokes, like a lot of these songs would have like sort of one central joke and riff around it, and between albums there would be the same joke. You know what I mean? So we kind of got to saw like the Lonely Islands version of this joke, and then the Flight of the Conchords version of this joke. That's what I found kind of funny during this whole experiment. It was all about delivery instead of the actual core of the joke, which I guess is comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you do the joke? How do you deliver the joke? And then, like, how do you present the joke? Like, you can write a song, but how is the song going? Like, what's it doing? And, like, there's definitely similar jokes, but I think the strength is, like, what are they doing that's different? And I think going the folk route is at least a difference.
Yeah. And let's not also forget, comedy isn't something that is funny every single fucking time you hear it. I mean, there's a certain point in which a joke is no longer funny. That's just how it works. So when we're talking about these albums as well, we actually have to think of the longevity that these albums could have just as music.
Yeah,
I disagree that a joke can stop being funny. Pete, did you know that Paul McCartney was in a band before Wings?
That is funny. I'm laughing on the inside.
I have to figure out a way to tell that joke every couple episodes.
One of these days, you just gotta do it for real. Pick the Wings.
I think this album's very listenable once you stop finding it funny. Like, even when they're riffing on French people, it's rather delightful to listen to.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a very laid-back album.
Hippopotamus has also gotten some real lines you can always use in your day-to-day life. I talk about reality like me and my grandma drinking a cup of tea.
It's a good counterpoint to everything else we've had this week.
Yeah, a palate cleanser.
It very much is.
I mean, let's not say it's...
Yeah, the Bowie
Let's
impression
definitely
was
not
good.
let's say it's not one of those like sex craved albums. There's definitely that element on here, but this is the least sex craved album out of all of them.
Yeah, funnily enough.
No, yeah, you're right. Sonseed is definitely hornier.
Yeah,
This.
What
Jesus
else?
is
A lot of undertones in Sonseed. A lot of undertones.
Why else are they called Sonseed, right?
Exactly.
I think it's a lot better to watch the show than it is to kind of listen to the album in full. But I also just do like I do like the songs, or certain songs on the album. I think are very like listenable on their own. Inner City Pressure is another one where it's a very it's got that kind of vibe that's kind of going on that you can definitely tell it's supposed to be from a moment in the show. But it does have those kind of little sensible chuckles in there as well.
It does.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the show, which is very un-Australian of me, un-New Zealander of me.
Kiwi.
Un-Kiwi. And it does feel a bit like there's an in-joke that I don't know when I'm listening to this. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm outside of the fold listening to this and I can appreciate it. And when you compare it to something like Tenacious D, which had a pretty similar backstory in terms of like comedy duo, TV show, band, that album is like kind of really trying to invite you into the fold with the skits and the sort of dynamic between them and stuff. Whereas this album's a bit more like you're with us or you're not with us, you know?
Yeah.
Now I've got a question that Pete might be able to answer, but I'm going to assume as a no. How many Flight of the Conchords songs do you reckon made a Hottest 100?
Oh, it was there. You always meet people here that love the Flight of the Conchords.
Keep in mind,
But-
this is for they've had 2 albums. They had Flight of the Conchords and I Told You I Was Freaky, and both within the same like this. This one was 2008. The next one was 2009 for season 2.
that's like, is the top 100 here in that
Yeah, the hottest 100.
hottest 100? I don't
So
know.
voted
Maybe like
in, voted
four.
in.
Four.
Dominic, Trix, you want to give a number to guess as well?
1.
This is for just the whole discography. You guessing 1, Trix? What are you guessing?
I think it's gonna be higher than I'm saying, but I'm gonna say 12.
Not that bad, but I love your effort there. The answer is 6. They've had 6 songs.
That's pretty impressive.
Hip Hoppopotamus versus Rhinoceros. Most Beautiful Girl in the Room,
Rhinoceros?
and Rhinoceros. Most Beautiful Girl in the Room and Business Time made it from the debut, with Inner City Pressure actually making the 200. So it didn't make the 100, doesn't count, but it was a possibility. So that got a lot of votes. Business Time, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, came in at number 18, so it actually got pretty high.
Wow.
Oh.
And then I Told You I Was Freaky. The one that'd probably be the least surprising out of all of them, because it actually had some success, was Too Many Dicks on the Dance Floor.
Oh, I remember that. That was a
Yep.
big song.
The other 2 were Hurt Feelings, and what I personally believe is the best Flight of the Conchords song, but it's just not off this album, so we didn't listen to it, sorry, is Carol Brown.
Cool.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure a different Phoenix Wrong video did Hurt Feelings, so I know that song in my head now that you've mentioned it.
Wow.
Well, I Told You I Was Freaky. I think it's both Hurt Feelings and Too Many Dicks, I guess, were ones that were a lot more popular on the internet than the ones of the debut album.
Yeah,
Specifically, Too Many Dicks. Too Many Dicks was definitely on fucking YouTube.
one of those things I might know that I just don't remember until I hear it again.
Too many dicks on the dance floor. Too many dicks.
Many dicks. Yeah.
Interestingly,
it's been a long
Aria
time.
charts. This charted at 37, and the U.S.
Yep.
Billboard it charted number 3.
Whoa.
New Zealand number 1,
Wow.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least in America, this did better than Ninja Sex Party.
I want to
All is right with the world.
LP of this. It just has a really pretty cover.
Yes,
I want to stare
Oh,
at
yeah,
it.
no,
in like
that's-
It
a
does.
12-inch format.
very Fleet Foxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
That might explain why I like it so much.
And also, this has a better version of 3 Minutes of Ecstasy, but I think Lonely Island does bad reggae better.
Lonely Island does do bad reggae better.
Yeah.
They did knock it out. Yeah.
Favorites, least favorites?
Favorites. I mean, Business Time is just the best on this. I think the favorite ladies of the world. That's one of those ones that just truly just didn't. It's the only one you can probably say that with its aging, just it's the only one probably aged poorly, whilst the rest at worst just didn't really age at all.
Robots has that really like late 2000s humor that's a little dated now, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think it's aged poorly.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, it's one of those left in its time capsule. I mean, binary solo, mate. 00000010000000000
That's right.
11. Fucking
It's pretty good.
stupid.
I rate it.
Yeah.
I liked. I think they're the two singles off the album, but I liked Business Time and Hippopotamus vs. Rhinoceros.
I'm glad we're both having
It's just
issues with
rhinoceros.
it.
Okay.
They say it in the song, Pete. Did you not listen?
I know. I don't know. I don't know if I have another favorite, but the rest were fun. It's fine.
Yeah, this was really fun. Favorites for me are Business Time. Sorry, my brain stopped working for a second there. And I quite like Ladies of the World and Fudafafa because I understand it.
I do like the like like the
And like I took like 6 years of French in high school. So,
oh good.
and like I just like making fun of French people whenever I can. And so
They're an easy
Oh, you
target.
should have checked. Yeah, you should have checked out our high school for French.
6 years of high school to 4 years school?
what?
You said you took 6 years of French in high school.
And middle school.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that one didn't like really.
Either you were doubling up
Trump
or
so
you were doing
well.
summer. Anyway.
Sorry?
Trix just
And
apparently
middle
went to
school.
high school in Australia. We do high school for 6 years here.
Yeah, it's 6 years long. It's a very confusing joke.
It's only 4 years for us, so.
Right.
Anyway, I like Inner
Yeah,
City
you had
Pressure.
middle school.
Yeah, middle school, yeah. I like This Time, of course. Bowie's kind of fun. My least favorites are Ladies of the World, and I think Fudafafa does get a little tiresome when you listen to it again and again.
Fudafafa.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on now to Pete, your pick.
Tenacious D,
Yes.
self-titled 2001.
Yes.
This was their debut album off the back of like, I don't know if it was 10 years, maybe like 6 or 7 years of touring, and then they made a TV show that I haven't seen.
It's on YouTube.
I should watch it. And yeah, this is Jack Black and Kyle Gass, comedy duo. Hope you like Jack Black because this is like Jack Black's humor for 40 minutes or however long it goes for. This is a lot of Jack Black. This is skits with Jack Black. This is him doing his little like skibbity-doo-wop shit. Like it's just, if you don't like Jack Black, you're gonna hate this album. But if you jive with him, it's quite a fun album that you've probably at least heard tribute from. It clearly pays a lot of tribute to heavy metal aesthetics in a sort of silly, fun, loving way. It's surprising how talented both Jack Black and Kyle Gass are in terms of technical guitar playing or just having an incredible singing register.
Yeah.
And it's really good at building momentum and then sort of climaxing, for lack of a better word, at the end of songs.
Yes.
Two
important people
yeah,
involved in the making of it too. But you can keep talking.
Yeah. No, that's kind of my intro. This is a banger of an album, I think. It's probably quite bold. It is quite unique in ways that won't click with everyone, and the skits are probably questionable, but I like them.
Worth mentioning that Dave Grohl is all over the album as on guitar and
Dave
drums.
Grohl is all over the album. Yeah,
Yep.
and he's kind of supporting the whole thing and turning up in music videos and
Also,
helping write it and put it together.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk is credited for writing Friendship Test.
Yeah, and he helped write the show that they did, from what I understand. So it's all very connected to the LA comedy world of the late 90s and early 2000s, which is why they sort of could put this together, I suppose. and why it's such a refined aesthetic for a debut album, because they'd been around for a while doing this.
I must mention my brief thing about Bob Odenkirk and that we went to the same high school. So my goal in life is to be better than him.
Yeah, you're a bit far.
I'll probably never get there, but
I disagree.
Yeah, you gotta try. You gotta.
It's a good dream to have.
Yeah.
There's always room for improvement. I'll have my own starring show one day.
So Pete, I have seen the Tenacious D show. I've watched every episode because I didn't study in high school. I went on YouTube instead.
How
And
is it?
It is funnier than the studio album.
Good.
I believe
I'll
that.
give it a watch.
There is a lot of things that I had to remind myself they are just trying to make this a studio album and connect it. I know they are still doing their humor and stuff like that, but a lot of the skits are just trying to wrap up what an episode did. And those episodes are short anyway, so it's not like it's impossible.
Right.
But it's a lot funnier. Like Kyle Quit the Band skit is boring, but the actual episode in which it shows their whole burnout of being musicians, and then Kyle getting pissed off and leaving, and then just this reveal at the end that it's like, actually, I'm back. Is one of those kind of pointless humor that the Tenacious D had in that show, which made it interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can
And-
imagine. I have seen the Pick of Destiny. Is it
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
It's in a sense, yes, but the Pick of Destiny I feel is more surreal.
Very
It's
much
definitely it's a very surreal movie.
Yeah. I think the HBO show is a lot more grounded in reality, even if there are still some surreal moments in it. A lot of them can usually be explained by they were probably fucking high.
Yeah.
That being said, I also I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think Kielbasa is always ruined by the actual instrumentation on it because it works so much better as an acoustic tune.
I think it works either
Right.
way.
Yeah, I
it
quite
works both
enjoy that
ways.
track. Yeah.
If you watch the live recording, the one that they had on their DVD, the Live in Chicago, I believe it is, where they did like this whole theatrical show and stuff like that, I think that is the best recording of Kielbasa.
Have you seen him play the metal when the big guy comes out?
Yeah, that's on the same
Show.
show.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I think
the
they're playing
guys-
here in a couple of days, actually.
The metal is
Yeah,
secretly one of the greatest metal.
They
songs
are.
of
They're
all
playing.
time.
They're playing the ICC, and I'm not in Sydney during that. But it wouldn't matter
Oh.
because $150 anyway. I'm not.
Yeah,
that
nah.
That's
much. It's just-
ridiculous.
I like him, but I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I fucking. I was asked by someone, it's like, "Oh, are you gonna go see Tenacious D?" And I was like, "No, I'm not paying $150." It's like, "Yeah,
Oh,
man, I'm
yeah.
not paying it either. I'm just no, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I was.
Yeah.
I know.
This is
I know
after
that I showed you the tickets.
This is after a gig in Sydney.
Ah,
You weren't there, Trix."
gotcha.
And they just said to me, like, "Yeah, I'm not paying for it either. Be an adult and get your job to pay for it." Sorry, music journal. Fucking hell.
Yeah, this podcast doesn't
Anyway,
pay
that's
like
how you
that.
save $150. This is how you save $150. Just waste your life becoming a music journal and not get paid.
Donate to our Patreon. We can send Ritz to see Tenacious D next time they're in Australia.
Hell
Sure.
yes.
No, I can't see it anyway because it's.
You can also spend $200 on our Patreon to have me tattoo something on myself.
Oh,
Ooh.
T-neck.
Yeah, T-Nack on one ass cheek.
Who's getting the shit?
Who's
Yeah,
he's
I'll-
getting the shizdy.
I'll do it for us, Trix.
All right.
No charge. Already done.
So I think
Anyway,
Also-
good album.
this is a fun album though. Like,
So outside of, I'm finishing my hot takes on this. Outside of Tribute, which I think Tribute is probably like the only song, or yeah, I think it's the only one I would say like I prefer the studio version to the version that was originally recorded for the show or that, because the version that's on this show is kind of gets a bit of a jumbled mess at times, so they tried to do a little bit too much of it, and with it being kind of a bit more concise, it's better. But the actual
They do the stairway
best-
riff too.
yeah, the best song on this album outside of that, and I know it's got that real interlude moment in it, which is just complete lowbrow humor, but it's Rocky Socks.
Good song.
I like karate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
like Explosivo.
Explosive was good too. So, like,
Yeah.
comparing to other albums that we listened to this week, Fuck Her Gently relates to sex training. It's better.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? There's a couple others I just can't think of at the moment. I mean, Friendship Test is basically If We Were Gay, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the 2001 humor of it works better.
It just all lands a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because they're better
I'm
at
partial
comedy.
to.
I guess
I'm
so,
partial
yeah.
to Dio.
And
Dio's
One
good.
Note song is like basically the instrumentation of that whole Ninja Sex Party album. Thank you.
But giving a nod at Dio is always a good move because for a while there he was kind of like if you know you know. Like he had some mainstream appeal, but like I feel like after the 80s he kind of disappeared until like 2010 before he died.
Yeah, I feel like he really hit headlines when he died, which is a bit sad.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget the classic Dio moment in Tenacious D history. That was Kickapoo.
Yeah, Kickapoo, and he's in the video.
Where he's he's actually on the song. Yeah.
So good.
I
He's
mean,
like on the
I
poster on the
actually
wall, and he starts
was
singing.
within 50 feet of Ronnie James Dio once.
oh, wow. Was that when you
Do
were at the
tell.
Rush concert?
That was when I was at a Rush concert and he was in the crowd.
Nice.
So I do appreciate when a band like something like this is just very upfront up, like being like scatological and stuff. Like if you're just gonna be straight up about like dicks and all that, that's fine. There's something about it that's more charming than again Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, the band name's a dick joke.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like you can also write these jokes that are more interesting or just more shocking in a way. Like again, karate. Like the one line that song has is so much better than anything on the NSFW.
I think the sound of Tenacious D is just that much better. Like it the way that they can build from just like acoustically strumming to then they're riffing to then it's, you know, heavy metal guitars kick in and Jack Black starts screaming about something and you're like, yeah,
Well,
I'm here for this.
I know we're not going to be the first people to say it, and it's a tired point, but I think we could probably still realistically agree that sometimes the internet does get it right, and that moment in which they start harmonizing on tribute is actually heavenly.
That's so
Yeah.
good. Their harmonies are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like Jack Black's clearly incredibly talented, but he's also kind of doing a silly, like almost Adam Sandler-esque voice at times, which sort of undermines how amazing he is at singing in a way that's funny. Like
the Adam Sandler album.
I almost did.
Tenacious D could never write "Somebody Kill Me."
Couldn't write
Long
"Hot
P.
Water Burn Baby." But yeah, no,
Adam Sandler could write Explosivo.
Yeah.
yeah, I think he could. Some of these skits he could probably write.
Adam Sandler could write Fuck Her Gently.
And hard fucking.
Yes, the whole thing.
You know what?
The lead up.
You know what? I'm gonna challenge everyone to do. Go to the hip hop albums from around this time and go to the skits that were around then.
Oh, I
Ask
know.
yourself, was the humor really much better?
I had a
So the lesson is Nas could have written some of these skits.
Yeah.
back in high school. I went to a friend's place and we found a Jack Black soundboard, and it was
Awesome.
all the buttons were from the skits from this album. So that was just like you press a button and you'd be like hard fucking, or it'd be like I was doing cock push-ups, and it'd just be that kind of thing. And we would prank call people using it. And there's a skit in here where like the entire thing is him ordering from like a
drive-thru.
fast food. Yeah. So we like called up McDonald's and we would be like, you know, take the nuggets and stick them up your ass. And we just play these fucking, like, we were dumb. We were pieces of shit. We were like 13 years old, just putting a phone next to a computer speaker.
And then
And,
alien
like, the
shit
people on
crash
the other
landed in your
end-
basement.
Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of like whenever I listen to these skits, I think of that. That's my key memory of just like I was doing cock push-ups. Well,
And when your mum found the phone bill, oh god.
true.
The one moment
Can you take 6 nuggets and get rid of 2 of them?
The one moment I remember from Pick a Destiny is just doing the cock push-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many can you do?
Was it even really a?
What?
Was it even
You
really a
only
cock
do
push?
one.
I know it's like.
Oh, he had to like press a button,
Yeah,
like
press the
turn off the
button.
lasers or
Some
something.
lasers.
Yeah.
And I think he even had to like break the glass in front of the button.
It's pretty good.
Honestly, I think I prefer the Pick of Destiny as an album though.
I was thinking that
I
when
do
I was
too.
listening to it. I think the Pick of Destiny is a bit better, but like Tribute, like does anyone not think that Tribute is their best song?
I mean, Trivia's great. The only other song
Trivia's
that is in the conversation is
I-
probably the metal.
You know what?
Yeah, the
No.
metal.
No, I fully disagree. I legit think that, and I think this is why I like the Pick of Destiny is when they went into that full rock opera sound and just went full on with it. And
Is that-
I prefer both Kickapoo and Beelzebus.
Oh, Beelzebub is good.
Specifically
Beelzebub's
Beelzebus. I think it is one of those, yes, it is truly dependent on the context of knowing why they're singing.
Yeah.
But it's full of those moments in this Rhapsody rock opera showdown, which is just about fighting the
Dave
devil,
Grohl. Yeah.
Dave Grohl, and it's just got a bunch of great moments in there. I stand by Beelzebub as their best song.
It's
Like,
up there.
Tribute's good because it's got really good harmonies, and that moment where it all comes together is fantastic. But if it's an actual full song, I'm picking Beelzebub.
Okay. I rate that. Still
It's
think
the
Tribute's
metal
better.
for me.
Okay.
I think the metal's the best.
Oh,
Tenacious
Guitar
D
Hero
song.
3.
Purely because it's also just one of the greatest metal songs ever written.
I think it wasn't also just in Guitar Hero 3. And Rock Band. I'm pretty sure it was one of the songs that got added into Brutal Legend.
I'm pretty sure it was made for Guitar Hero 3. Like, it was, like, debuted there or something.
Oh, interesting.
I can see that.
I'll double check. But I have a memory of it being like, oh my god, there's a new Tenacious D song on Guitar Hero 3.
I don't think it debuted, but I'd be happy to be wrong.
I'm also probably the only one here that doesn't hate Rise of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that one was just tiresome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't remember much of it, honestly.
I get it.
Yeah.
At some point, we have to talk about Post-Apocalypto. Watch the animated series that they animated themselves.
Oh, counterpoint. Pete, you want to come over and just watch Pick of Destiny?
Oh, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't. But that's okay.
It was. I'm pretty sure like same years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, very similar.
Hmm.
Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not. I think Guitar Hero 3 is 2007. This was 2006. But
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, this Tenacious D is a cool album. It does kind of get more tired as it goes along.
Yes.
But a lot of comedy albums do. And it gets a lot like more underproduced as it goes along, which is
I
kind of weird.
like.
Yeah.
I'm so into that.
It gets real rough.
Like they blew all the budget on weed, but they still had to make the album work.
Yeah. It feels like they blew all the budget on Tribute and Wonder Boy, and then it was like, we're just going to get together and record the rest.
That being said, Rock Your Socks double team
it's
in City
good.
Hall was a great ending.
Oh,
It was
they're
better than
brilliant.
The majority of, and Drive-Thru is probably the best skit just because it goes to a certain point when it comes back around, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was annoying, but then it just keeps going. You're like, oh fuck it. It's just
Yeah,
sitting
it's
calm
good.
down with it.
And yeah, that final track, medley, is just, it's good stuff. Like, and it really feels very organic and natural. Like, you don't know how much of it was sort of intentional when it comes to Jack Black's like vocal riffing, and that's fun. Like, it just sounds so free.
Yeah.
I've got to ask: did the versions that you all listen to include the secret track?
Yeah,
Which secret track?
Yeah.
that's a wait
Malibu
like a
Nights.
few minutes. Yeah.
For Malibu Nights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't listen to Spotify on this one. I somehow had it on my computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is on Spotify.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's City Hall, I believe, Malibu Nights medley.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, for me, like, I don't think all of the songs hit. I think the big ones do. Like, I'm always going to remember being in 7th grade, listening to Tribute over and over, and being on, like,
Yeah, same.
online, you know?
Mm.
And then being like, oh my god, I'm hearing Malibu Nights, and I'm hearing Karate, and it's the same people. Holy shit, right? But, like,
Yeah.
a song like Lee, or a song like Friendship, like, sure, The Road, whatever. Like there's very much
Yeah.
it kind of balances out in the end, but there's very much some dead weight. That's not the skits. The skits are fine for me, but like it's just some of the other songs that I'm like, 21 tracks. We could cut some of these.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
There's also one thing I've always been surprised about as well when it
Mhm.
comes to what made the album, what didn't, is that History, despite that being from like the first Tenacious D episode, was on the Pick of Destiny, not on their debut.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I also don't like Wonder Boy.
You don't like
I'm a
Wonder
Kevin
Boy?
I
I
don't.
kind of like Wonder Boy.
It's too much.
I like what they're doing.
That's the one that feels like it's doing like what any other of these groups are doing. Like, oh, the Mucky Muck Man is shitting
Yeah,
on
I get
KG. Okay.
Yeah.
I give them one pass for that, and it's Wonder Boy.
Just to bring it home a little bit, ARIA charts charted at number 13. U.S. Billboard charts number 33.
I'm actually surprised there's
Solid.
only number 13, because I can just remember, I mean, Triple Rebel would always play this shit, going like, yeah, we play the true rock because we know who Jack Black is. And
I think it
remember,
was
like,
a slow burn kind of sales wise.
I'm sure.
I remember being introduced to this back in like year 7 to like 2010 for me, and it was just people in my class who were just like, oh yeah, this is the big YouTube joke, I guess. You know, everybody's doing it, everybody was listening to Tribute. So I'm actually kind of surprised. I guess, you know, this came out 2001, so and
Yeah.
Jack Black's popularity was never like absolute global star #1 everywhere. Especially back then, you know, it was the one that everybody knew, but it wasn't everybody's like absolute like people didn't have fucking posters of him and pray to him every night. Well, they probably do now, but like back then, I don't think they did.
There was something about it that felt underground still. Like everyone kind of knew it on YouTube, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't. No one was talking about Tenacious D like they were talking about Foo Fighters or something else.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's something magical about being like 12 or 13, being obsessed with whatever fan forums you're on at that time, and just discovering like YouTube and being like, oh my god, right? And that's just like your summer.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Jack Black, before I knew Tenacious D, was the guy from School of Rock and the guy from Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005. He's in
Yes.
that.
That's where I
And
knew him from.
it was a fun moment. That was probably like his peak in, well, maybe not, but like that felt like he was off the back of School of Rock. He was like an A-lister in Hollywood for like a year or two.
He was always like kids' movies, is what I associated with him. And School of Rock, I kind of incorrectly assumed it was like a kind of a kids' movie, and it's definitely kid friendly, but I wouldn't really consider it a kids' movies these days. But it was stuff like Nacho Libre was
that was big.
one. Kung Fu Panda is obviously the big one.
Gulligan's Island.
Gulliver's Travels.
Gulliver's Travel.
Yeah, something like that. I remember that. That was okay.
Yeah, that was what with Steve Coogan and Owen. I'm pretty sure it was Owen Wilson, but I could be wrong.
That's pretty good.
It was bad. It was really fucking bad.
Do you remember he did a serious movie where he was in like a small town and he was kind of really good in it? What was that called?
Do you know what Tenacious D's debut was?
What?
No.
Biodome.
I believe that. That sounds like a perfect
Yeah.
mid-90s thing to be in.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Like, no one knows that Biodome's going to be
was-
as bad as it is, but, you know, at the time.
I was wrong with the actors. I think both Steve Coogan and Owen Wilson might have been out of the museum. This had Chris O'Dowd, surprisingly.
Oh,
in there.
weird. That would have been during the
James Corden, Catherine Tate. No, you're not going to believe this. Dominic, do you know who was in this?
In what?
In Gulliver's Travels to 2010?
No,
Ollie Alexander.
who? Really?
Yes.
Is it an
As
actor?
Prince August.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Pete, do you know who that is?
No.
That's Years and Years.
He was
Really? That person-
the UK representative at Eurovision this year.
What? So
Yeah.
wait, was he like a child actor or something? How old is he?
It's like 20-something.
He's 33,
Okay.
so he
Oh my
actually would
God.
have been
Okay.
20.
Huh. That's pretty
Wow.
crazy.
So he also had a choice
And-
of on like childhood.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. Oh, Billy Connolly was also randomly in there as well. It was
Yeah, right.
I've seen
it-
this movie, and I couldn't tell you
it-
anything about it.
No, yeah,
No, it
same.
was bad. I can remember that the ending was the most cringe fucking ending that I can remember. It is where they just did war. What is it good for?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I believe that.
So yeah, this is how we are gonna survive all global conflicts. Get Jack Black to sing war.
Hey, he played Bowser in the Mario movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pete, during
Free
high school,
Panda?
did you ever have the history assignment where you had to do a PowerPoint and put music behind it?
No?
No, I had that shit, and
What?
everyone was like, you had to do it, and it was both geography and history had one. Geography, I remember you had to do it on a drought, and you were supposed to do relevant music. Both of these times, I kid you not, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care, and I put System of a Down as my backing music.
Hell yeah.
That's
And
that
I
is
put
so edgy, teenager.
for the well, I classmate was like, "You reckon anyone would do it?" I'm like, I'll fucking do it. I don't care. And I did Chop Suey for the drought one, which is not relevant at all. But I did have a relevant System of a Down one for the Vietnam War. So I picked BYOB
Oh,
and just
lovely.
tried to time it just before the "Where the fuck are you?" But
I would
everybody
love
else was just having fucking war was playing. That's all.
Right. That makes sense. I would like that would be I like trying to picture this scene of like a 15-year-old kid giving a presentation
It's
in
just this
class.
PowerPoint.
System of
It's
the
as if
Down
you don't-
playing.
Yeah, you don't talk. It's all in the PowerPoint. And it just shows and it goes.
Oh,
flip,
okay.
flip,
It's
flip.
even funnier.
So it's just like nothing. Everyone's gonna read just like.
Kids. Jesus Christ.
Small aside, I am reading the plot to Gulliver's Travels, and Guitar Hero 3
Yes,
is
I know. I
relevant
remember
to the
that.
plot.
I
Alright.
remember that as well. Because
Guitar Hero
Jack
3 is
Black
in
is
it?
like they're playing
Yes.
Guitar Hero during the work for some reason. I can remember these
And,
parts
like,
because do
they
you
killed a
know?
robot from the pages of the game manual?
Huh.
It's wild.
So it's also
What-
kind of
Hey, hey.
Jumanji-ish.
Yeah.
Rock Band is also relevant to the plot of Paul Blart Mall Cop because he's stuck in the mall as everyone's evacuating because he's distracted in the arcade playing Rock Band, and I don't know
Oh,
how I
that's
remember
good.
Detroit
that.
Rock City. It was Detroit Rock City. I have seen Paul Blart too many times.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anyway, to
So-
circle back, Tenacious D.
Should we also just bring up that Jack Black's mom was a NASA scientist that was really important in like the Apollo missions and shit?
I
How's
didn't
that
know
relevant?
It was,
I did. I didn't know that. It's an
That's
awesome
pretty
little tribute.
fascinating. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Cool. Good for him. Good for her. What are your favorite tracks and what are your least favorite tracks? Starting with Trix.
Okay, my favorite tracks are Kilbasa, Explosivo. I'm going to avoid saying Tribute, and Dio. No least favorites.
So Trix
Callum.
doesn't like being tributed. Got it. Favorites, Rock Your Socks. I do like Double Team, but I think that's also one of those other ones that's better live. Even though the live version does have that studio backing on it and stuff like that, but the actual proper instrumentation, I just think it's better on that. And then, I mean, Tribute's a good song. I can fucking say.
Can't argue.
Basic. Sometimes when you're basic, it's that. Least favorite's Wonder Boy.
That's fair.
I like
Dominic?
Tribute. I like Drive Through. I like Karate. I like Explosivo. My least favorite is Wonder Boy. I also like Malibu Nights quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the whole City Hall, I believe Malibu Nights thing's pretty great. That's probably one of mine. Do you have a least favorite, Dominic?
Wonder Boy.
Yeah, fair. I like the medley. I like Double Team. I like Rock Your Socks. I like Explosivo, Tribute, Kielbasa. They're just all quite. I like most of them. Don't really have any dislikes. Just a fun album.
It's just kind of flabby in the middle with songs like Lee and The Road. Like, who cares?
Yeah, some that are just worse than others, but it's not like I'm having a bad time.
Those ones work better with the show than I feel like they do on the album.
I imagine. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
now let's talk about The Lonely Island, Incredibad. Which, in the context of everything, if Tenacious D was like the era of like stuff before YouTube coming to YouTube. This was like the stuff that was hitting the early days of YouTube that really made it like popular to go online and be like, oh my god, Dick in a Box. Oh my god, Natalie's rap.
I'm gonna make everyone uncomfortable for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And just I was shown jizz in my pants before I had sex or education. Just putting that out there.
Same.
I was in
It
middle
was,
school.
it was like
Yeah.
it was
But
year 7.
I-
This song was so big in my grade. Like people would like YouTube download the music video and put it on their iPod touches, and we'd play it in class.
but I didn't know what the word jizz meant. I
Ah.
didn't know, and neither did my friend.
I
We
didn't
both
either.
just watched this song, and if anybody else was told this misinformation in their life, I just want to know that I wasn't alone. Because my friend said, "Oh, jizzing is when you shit and piss at the same time."
It's almost funnier that way too.
That's so good. that
So I
like
didn't
checks out with
get
the
this.
storyline of the song. It like makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't actually get this the way I thought. I was just like, I thought it was just random. Oh, you just chat and pissed yourself.
So this is the one I think holds up the best of all of these, and I'm going to say it's because a lot of these songs are written with intentional layers of comedy. It's not just a simple skit. Most sometimes it is, but a lot of these songs at least have some idea of like, this is stupid or this is this, but we're doing this spin on it. Like
I disagree that this holds up. This does not hold up the best out of all of them. The Fighting Conchords and Tenacious D, both clear. That's just not
almost
even a
every song
question for
on
me.
here is a banger.
No.
I honestly
This is
have
better
to
than
agree with
Ninja.
Domino.
Was
This
that
is
Trix?
better than Ninja Sex Party, but still got its issues.
What'd you say, Trix?
I lean
I have to
towards
agree with you,
Dominic,
Domino.
but I'm in between. I didn't have a great time the whole time, but it does feel like a lot of the more like aggressive comedy in this is super satirical, which
I-
helps a lot.
Let me point out my point of view here. I don't hate this. This isn't Ninja Sex Party for me. That's a level
I agree.
far below. There is actually moments on here where it's kind of impressive that this is a thing that was made in a certain way. Like, this is a time capsule. I will not really defend this existing in this time, this day and age, but I think it's a very interesting one, just knowing exactly who's on here.
Yeah.
I posted one of the most fucking relevant things to be posted right now is the fact that Justin Timberlake is all over this this
Yeah.
album
Ooh,
as
the
well.
tour.
Just getting
What
arrested
tour?
for a
Shadows.
DWI.
Todd in the Shadows just did a brilliant video, if no one's watched it, on Man in the Woods, which is this whole supposed like comeback country album, and it kind of actually randomly chronicles the rise of Chris Stapleton, which I think is just kind of funny. That like whilst trying to step into the country scene, it's just ended up making a rising talent bigger than the artist that they were trying. Like Chris Stapleton was featuring on the album. That's the kind of thing. And it's an interesting take.
Right.
But you go on and also who's on here. I mean, T-Pain. That's a real fucking throwback.
Hell yeah.
I love
Jack
T-Pain.
Black, obviously, on it. And then the craziest ones on here is Nora Jones and Julian Casablancas.
Yeah.
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 Like, this is the
And
thing.
Boombox is the best. Boombox is the best one off here.
I can tell you how, like, a lot of these I saw when they aired on Saturday Night Live, so, like, it's also, like, important to me in that way. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
definite nostalgia glasses, all of that, yes. But, like, the surprising thing to me is still being, like, listening to these 15, 20 years later and being like, actually, though, they still kind of hit. Like, the beats are still good, what they're doing is still funny.
Yeah. The hooks are good. Nora Jones's hook is really good.
I thought you were a bag of change. Like,
Can't.
Some of these definitely feel like I need a lot more context to enjoy. I mean, I'm sure Natalie's rap would have been great really back in the day, with the joke really seemingly being that it's Natalie Portman rapping.
well, the joke is that she was known as, like, a child teen actor. You know, she was in Star Wars. She was in that movie where she had a baby in Walmart.
Yeah.
And so this was like, let's take this, like, Harvard graduate and, like, do an edgy rap song with her. And like it actually fucking works. That's the thing. I think it works really well for what it
See,
is.
I've always seen Natalie Portman as the face of Don't Date That Indie Chick, thanks to Garden State.
Yeah, Garden State was also, a little bit before this, so there is that like balance. But again, you don't expect the girl from Garden State to do that, and like that's the joke, right? And for like the lineage of like Lazy Sunday, then Natalie's rap, and then they waited a couple years, and then Dick in a Box. Well, Dick in a Box is also in the early era, but then Jizz in My Pants and I'm on a Boat and Like a Boss all kind of hit within 6 months of each other, and that was a big fucking deal.
I feel like those 3 songs really put him on the radar in my year 7 class.
Yes. In my 8th grade,
And
we were taking a trip on a boat for like our big 8th grade trip, and we fucking begged the DJ to play "I'm on a Boat" so much because that was the song that just came out,
And they were so good.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I knew of "I'm on a Boat" since like 2009 because there were people who were joking about it, like people in my class and stuff. This is the first time I've ever actually listened to the song.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm same with In Full Dick in a Box. I never actually watched the full video for Dick in a Box. The only one of these that I'd watched the full of before was Jizz in My Pants.
We gotta eventually talk about the third song in the Jizz in My Pants, or not the Jizz in My Pants, the Dick in a Box lineage with Lady Gaga featuring on it.
Well, there's 2 others in the lineage that are not here.
I like those 2 more than Dick in a Box.
Whilst I know most of I know most of the popularity that was coming from this, I'm going into this album fresh.
That's fair.
That's basically it, which is kind of wild to think about, seeing as I was there when this was big, and I chose to not listen to it. I didn't ever listen to Jizz on My Pants outside of my friends showing it to me either. I just knew of the song. I honestly didn't really find it that funny because I think I was just chuckling along to seem cool.
You didn't know what Jizz was.
I thought he was shitting and pissing, man. I've been there.
See, I'm gonna argue that I think the harmonies on "Jizz in My Pants" at the end of the song are as good as the one in Tribute.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that, but I like the enthusiasm.
I have no nostalgia onto this. I also don't actually have a reason to hate this either. So I'm coming into this completely neutral, and I'm just saying, I actually do understand how everybody can get into this album back in like 2010 and stuff like that. It is, there's fucking meme culture that's come from this.
So many things.
From this album. Yeah, like a Boss is one of probably the biggest ones out of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember a single person who didn't fucking go, I did that like a boss. The kind of thing. That was a huge fucking thing. I'd never actually heard the song before today.
It is worth mentioning that the album version is a little different than the YouTube video SNL sketch.
Yeah.
I think
I believe it, yeah.
Was the interviewer.
Yeah, Seth Rogen was in it. And like this was done beforehand, I think, and they just put him in instead of Akiva.
Right.
That makes sense.
So Saturday Night Live is like not a thing at all here, and like you'll find people here that don't know what it is.
Good.
Like it's just
Good.
doesn't really exist.
The world is healing.
So like
I tried
when it
watching
comes to
it
people,
once as a kid, and I just didn't get it.
Yeah, like when it comes to the comedians that come from Saturday Night Live, it feels to me like you guys know them as Saturday Night Live comedians, and we know them as Hollywood actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we don't hold any like reverence for Saturday Night Live or the skits or the comedic stylings of it really.
That's fair.
But this album's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I like it a lot, and they really it's impressive how well that they nailed the like 2000s party anthem music. Like they've got a bit of a Beastie Boys thing going on, but they also bring on T-Pain, and it all sounds right. And I think part of the comedy of it at the time was like you expect just another. I mean, this is kind of the joke of the album, right? You expect just another random pop song you'd hear at the gym, and then it turns out it's actually really funny, as long as you find Andy Samberg funny.
Well, Pete, I'm gonna really blow your mind here.
Mm.
You know what the best artist to actually kind of compare this to, just with the sound, is, and then realizing that they were later after this, it's LMFAO.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
But LMFAO
like
is a
those
different
guys-
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were tongue in cheek too, to some degree, but this was entirely parody.
Sorry for Party Rocking is the funniest album title ever, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I think some of the context that's important to some of these songs, especially like the big singles, is that they were basically like South Park style production, and that it was all done in the week that they had them.
Yeah, I get it. It's a bit of a caricature, if that's what you mean.
No, like, and like they wrote the song, they recorded it, they did the video all within the span of a week as they were prepping for the show.
Right.
So like,
well, I stand by. There was definitely a bit of a caricature kind of
style
to the.
Like a song like Boombox, it has to be a caricature. Like to the get where all the old people are fucking in the senior center. It's like, yes, of course.
I don't that song. I think that song. I don't know if you can measure funniness, but I think that song's the funniest on this whole album to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why it gets me so good. Just when they're like, a boombox is not a toy, I'm like, that's a good line.
Like, it's what introduced me to Julian Casablancas. I'm like, oh man, that guy has like really good voice. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I think, there are some of the lesser songs even like have at least like an angle to it. Like We Like Sports is really dumb, but like
it's one of my favorite off the album.
But the idea that it's like a very like dry pan delivery of like people who obviously do not give a shit or are pretending, and they're going like through the motions of it, I think is at least like a 2-sentence pitch that's at least a level above what some of the other albums are doing.
Yes.
I don't know if that's how I read the joke of that song. I feel like they're kind of mocking people who make their whole personality sports. Is that?
It's a little of both, I'd say.
A little of both? Okay.
Maybe also bringing like the video into it, but...
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the video. Because to me, it's like they're singing about smoking cigars in a really monotonous
line, they
voice.
actually like point to open car doors.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the thing to keep in mind is that like these like Akiva and Jorma, they're basically just like white twinks, just like these like short nerdier guys that are there with Andy Samberg, and they're like, they're not the people you'd expect to be like big sports dudes. They're not big macho men who are yelling about sports. Like kind of like, okay, they're trying to have their moment too, but also they clearly do not give a shit. Like to me that was always kind of the joke of like they're kind of wimpy and not the masculine idea of what a sports fan is.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm into it. I wouldn't say that's one of my favorite tracks though. I don't know. There was sort of a mid to late section, as there often is in these albums, where it drops off a bit for me.
Yeah.
Like Punch You in the Jeans doesn't do anything for me.
It's stupid.
I love Punch You in the Jeans.
It's so stupid.
It's mostly what I love about Punch You in the Jeans is the fucking jazz sample they use.
Yeah, that's fun.
With just that good fretless bass and like the way the lyrics just kind of float on top of the groove, I quite enjoy.
I mean, I think the Old Saloon's like the skit that has the least going on for sure. Like I don't get it. Like why is it here, kind of thing. Like
Incredibad, I wasn't super hot on either.
Yeah, that was alright. That was their Beastie Boys moment. But coming after Natalie's rap, it's like a little too much. I fucking love Space Olympics for no fucking reason. It's just really good.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But even like again, going back to like the bad reggae of Ross Trent, it's like we get the joke. Okay.
I will say, yesterday was Reggae Fest in my city.
Oh.
And that is all I could... And Ross Trent was all I could think of.
This podcast just ruined the whole day for you.
Well, not really, because I was in the kitchen all day, but...
Okay.
It was already ruined.
Yeah, I was working a 12-hour shift, so...
Yeah, fair.
But even the stupid shit on Normal Guy as a skit, I think totally gets redeemed by how fucking dark it goes.
Yeah.
And just the fucking...
Is Normal Guy the one that ends with the award ceremony?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the best skit.
And the fact
I like that Boombox is sandwiched between interludes.
Yeah. I would love to know how they figured out how to sequence
the
this.
album that you need to like ramp it up and cool it down.
It's just Julian Casablancas. He's just that sexy.
I haven't talked in a while, so I'm going to talk again. So
go ahead.
Suck shit. I think the big songs, like finally having listened to this album, which everybody seems to have enjoyed back when they were a kid, and now listening to it as a much more mature adult and not really getting the same vibe that everyone else has. The songs that everybody is actually talking about, I actually don't really give a shit about. Jizz in My Pants, what can you say about it? It's funnier when you thought it was shitting and pissing. Like a Boss, I actually don't care about. I'm on a Boat, I really didn't care about. And Dick in a Box, I don't understand the humor anymore. I think it's the whole gift is that you're gifting someone a dick, and okay, but I was surprised that the other songs on here I actually did get sensible chuckles out of me, and there were some moments which I when this album got a bit so overboard with its comedy and surreal that it kind of lost all track of what it was doing, and you just kind of had to go along with the ride. I found it was actually when it was its funniest, like the intro, "Who Said We're Whack," where it's going a bit too overboard with the joke, and then just suddenly it cuts off. We're like, "Oh, we found him."
Yeah, that's a really good opening.
It's just
Pretty good opening.
I thought, okay, that is a great little sensible chuckle. I got that out of Normal Guy. I got it out of Boombox. I was surprised that there were some moments that I actually did find funny, especially when these are, let's not lie and say Andy Samberg was always considered to be a hilarious person. I think a lot of goodwill got out of out of Lonely Island, but out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. Which even that show fell fucking hard, and there were a lot of bad fucking movies that he was in. Does anyone
I will defend Hot Rod.
I like
No,
Hot Rod.
It's not Hot Rod that I'm on about. There's the one where he plays Adam Sandler's son.
I like that movie too.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. It's a classic. What do you mean?
I've never seen it, but I know what it's about.
I have, weirdly. It's kind of shit, but it's not as like there was an anti Adam Sandler wave going on at the time that made it seem worse than it is.
But
it's the Jack and Jill era.
Jack and Jill era, Adam Sandler.
Would you say that Andy Samberg is really fantastic in that, or that you're kind of just more willing to defend him just because it's Andy Samberg?
Oh no, he's not doing anything interesting in it. He's just a charming comedian. I don't know.
I'm not doing any attacks of Andy Samberg. I'm just saying there were periods in which he was in some absolute shit.
Sure.
I guess. Go ahead.
Lonely Island, I think, broadly has been a great success. I don't know.
I've heard Pop Star is great.
I saw that too. That was pretty fun. Good movie. Not amazing. Don't expect too much.
He was a co-writer of Extreme Movie.
Don't know what that is.
I'm guessing it's one of those like Movie 43 sort of deals.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
If it's X movie, you already know what type of movie it is.
True.
Yeah.
Don't need to click the Wikipedia on that, but I did anyway because apparently Michael Cera stars in it. You got
Incredible.
a 1 out of 5.
That sounds right.
Yep.
I guess all
was
this...
in Grown Ups too.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep. Just
Kino.
I guess the thing that
was in a lot of Hotel Transylvania.
Like
he was the redheaded kid.
The cutoffs. Go on, Dominic.
It's okay. The thing I am coming to realize from all of this is that it really is important having seen the show, as well. Which I thought it kind of stood on its own, but I also, this shit was baked into
Not really.
me. Mm-hmm. And so, there is something to be said, because it's like, kind of growing up with this, it's like, okay, Lazy Sunday, that was a thing. Natalie's Rap, that was a thing. And then all of a sudden, a video just starts playing, and you have no idea what's about to happen, and it's Andy Samberg and Justin Timberlake in these like weird suits and facial hair, and then the fucking joke is that they're just presenting their dicks in a box, and it's just the wildest shit at the time, because you're like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is this? And then they go silent for like 3 years, and then it's like Jizz in My Pants, and then a few months later it's I'm on a Boat, and you're like, what else are they gonna do? Like, is there going to be another one next week? And then it's like 2 months later. So, like, I think that was a perfect combination of, like, building on it and then, like, releasing them at, like, different times and then, like, growing up with it. Just having that fed into you. Being like, that's, like, the one show I watched on TV at that time. And, wow, it's really affecting my sense of humor and comedy.
Now, I've just got to reminded myself here. There is that little period of The Lonely Island as well, that definitely was heard when it came out for me. Now, it wasn't always intentional. One of them I did like because I liked the movie, and I forgot they did Everything Is Awesome.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
I forgot
Yeah,
they did that too.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but do you remember what was surprisingly, and this was a fucking hit randomly, and I remember hearing it, and this song I did not like, and I'm pretty sure if I go back, I will not like.
Yeah.
And I do admit that it is definitely a self-aware song, but I think I just didn't like it because everybody who was listening to it didn't quite get it. And that's I Just Had Sex.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's like the song I think of when I think of these guys.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I didn't ever want to listen to it.
I feel like I'm legally obligated to mention that in Borderlands 1 there was an achievement named after I'm on a boat.
Of course.
Hmm.
But there's a fun to like, okay, we are, the Lonely Island and we're part of SNL, and oh, we have Michael Bolton on this week. What the fuck are we gonna do with him? Oh, we'll write a song about watching Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of.
That's one of their best songs.
That's a good
too.
song, yeah.
Like fucking Jack Sparrow, like on the second album now. But it's like, there's just something that was really fun when this was all happening of like, it could be anything. It could be fucking threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
And there was just, I don't know, compared to everything else, I feel like, Flight of the Conchords, Tenacious D, they had their wheelhouses. Like, they had their shows, they had their style. You knew what they were going to be. The difference, I think, with Lonely Island is that they could theoretically almost do anything. Like, it was all going to be kind of hip-hop and whatever, and kind of pop, but, like, topically, production-wise, like, themes and, like, influences all over the place. So many different ideas.
Surprisingly good considering.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park,
Yeah.
really. For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, not everything's going to be a hit, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think Santana DVX is the worst song on the album, and I don't even know why it's here, but it's the one joke they carry through.
They do find that funny. That feels like one that they made for them.
Yeah, I can appreciate that because it really feels like a joke that they made for themselves.
Yeah, I kind of like that
It's
too.
my wings joke. It's my
Yes.
wings.
Yeah. Like, they clearly find that funnier than anyone else does.
Yeah.
I mean, so if we're doing favorites, least favorites, God, I think it's just easier to see. I don't like Santana DVX. Shrooms is fine at best. Ross Trent gets old. Punch You in the Jeans, meh. Old Saloons, and just the worst skit on here. Everything else I quite like.
Yeah, I like the sax man. I like a bit of Jack Black. That's why I brought Tenacious D here. I like Boombox. I like the hits. I don't like Ras Trent. By the time Ras Trent hits, I'm a little tired, and then there's like a heartbeat when Natalie's rap comes on, and then I'm done with the album. But pretty much all the tracks before Ras Trent, I'm all in on. Yeah.
Favorite is Boombox. Least favorite's probably I'm on a boat. Actually, that one was just
Wow.
I didn't get it.
They're on a boat, dude. It's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess you had to be there.
The video is
You had
also
to
pretty
be there,
good.
man.
Burgers, they're straight flipping copies.
The video is just they're all sitting at the table and they're eating cereal, and in the cereal box it's, hey, tickets for 3 on a boat, and you think it's going to be all 3 of the guys, and then they pan over and it's just T-Pain also sitting there with cereal, and they're like, oh, one of you is staying behind, T-Pain's coming with us, and then they're just on a fucking boat, man.
It's good shit, dude.
After hearing that description, Dominic, I am keeping my answer.
Whatever. Be a hater. It's fine.
Now, man.
Don't have this nostalgia. None of this is funny for me. I'm
Have
laughing
you guys
out of
heard,
fear.
heard T-Pain's cover of War Pigs?
It's pretty good.
No.
It's fucking great.
Trix, did you do your favorites, least favorites?
No, I did not. I have no least favorites. This is an album I've listened to for 10 years. Favorites for me though, definitely gotta go Sax Man, or not Sax Man. Punch You in the Jeans is actually my favorite off the album. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I love Punch You in the Jeans. Second favorite, We Like Sports, and then I'll go third favorite as Space Olympics.
Nice.
Now we're to our last
Real quick, US Billboard charts 13, ARIA charts 45.
Oh.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
Solid.
Thank you.
Solid.
Now we need Jesus in our lives.
We all do.
Let's all get down bad for Jesus, y'all.
Nah, hold on. Dominic, I'm going to completely piss you the fuck off with just one sentence.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this more than The Lonely Island.
I mean, that's... my number 1 is Lonely Island. Number 2 is this week, so whatever. This is actually really fucking good for no reason.
Yeah.
That's
I think the clear standout though is Jesus is my friend.
you reckon?
Jesus is my friend.
Just ska.
It's a-
vibing to this.
It's just a good. Yeah, it's a ska classic, probably from the first wave or the second wave.
Yeah.
The video looks old as shit, but
Mighty
this is an
Mighty Boss
EP
Tones
from...
have been real quiet.
This is an EP from 2009. But
So what's going on there? The song came out in the 80s?
Yeah, I'm
And then-
guessing it was like a private release on like a Christian label in the 80s, and then got
Right.
repressed in 2009.
when
Yeah,
they
that
broke
would make
out,
sense.
because meme culture and all that.
Mm.
I saw this on Twitter, just Jesus is a friend of mine, and I thought the whole album was going to be like that, so I'm a little disappointed, but it is good.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly for a fucking what is a Christian pop EP. I'm surprised of how much of this is like I don't love this, but I think it's just somewhat you can vibe to it. It's funny. Like it's the funniest album out of all of these, and it's unintentionally funny.
It's the thing of like, I don't think a lot of religious pop is good, but then every once in a while we have something like this where it's like, you know what? They just had good music and it just happened to be religious. How about that? Good for them.
I guess Jesus is a friend of mine.
We didn't get the proposed follow-up. Just can't get enough in brackets of Jesus.
That's a shame.
God, that is so horny.
It has 3 exclamation marks after the
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
Oh, that's good.
It was gonna have new
Yeah,
wave
what-
and new
what-
romantic elements. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Shit.
There's bootlegs.
Ooh.
Oh boy. I know what we're doing next week.
Apparently, fucking Glee did a cover of this on their show. What the fuck?
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah, I saw there was
Maybe
something
we'll
on
have-
Community about it, which speaks to this time.
If anyone
This
else
is good.
If anyone else has seen the Sister Act movies, they do "Oh Happy Day." It's one of the big ones they do in the chorus.
Huh.
I've never seen Sister Act. In fact, I can't even really tell you. I can tell you how every one of these songs goes outside Jesus as a friend. It's just fucking fun, though. I
Yeah.
don't know. This is. I'm vibed with it. I was like, I fucking go. By the
The
time it was
music
done,
video
I'm
is-
vibed.
Something about that video, like you can't really pinpoint why that video is so compelling. You know?
Oh, it's
There's a lot of
entirely
things
because
in it
filmed
that are
on
fun
tape.
to watch. Like the main dude kind of looking with a sort of strange blank expression at the camera, and then looking at the wrong camera, and then bopping around. And then there's some dude behind the piano doing the chorus who just looks really depressed, like really sad, like doesn't want to be there sad, but he's still bopping away. There's a
I
lot
love
of like
that woman's
small things.
glasses.
Yeah, yeah.
The way no, I think I know the one word that can be used to describe this EP, and it's not done as an insult. It's not done as a praise. It's just it fits the vibe for why this is so interesting. It's cursed.
It is.
Most of them are dead.
Oh,
Yeah, the drummer choked on a sandwich.
oh no.
I love Pete's disappointment. Like you're ready to buy tickets.
I hope they went to heaven. Jesus.
I also remember
Yeah, probably
the
not.
line in the song that's like, it's a new kind of music, but it's okay if it's praiseworthy or whatever. They were trying to get ahead of the allegations that they're doing devil music with like, it's fine as long as it's worship.
Yeah.
There was some line about like he loves me even though I make rock and roll. It's like that's
Yeah.
nice.
He taught me how to play rock and roll and praise the Lord or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves me when I waste my time by writing silly songs.
That's good too. A lot of good lines.
Someone in the comments is having this on vinyl is one of my biggest flexes.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine that. That would probably be like a fun, ironic thing that even now it's like, no, but listen to it.
I'm checking the Dissogs. We're checking
Like,
Dissogs.
That would go next to Trout Mask Replica.
What do you think of the album cover? It kind of looks like it's out of a sort of ska era.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's a funny font choice for like a what is a lot of like religious like church sounding music.
Apparently the cheapest is for a near mint copy, including shipping for us, Pete. It's around $85 Australian.
Maybe
I'll get two.
save on shipping.
Hell yeah.
One of them is unavailable in Australia.
Oh,
People are like, this has never been played. Why? Play it.
There's some bangers on this. A banger.
Don't forget self-titled song to open.
Yeah.
You know your band is good when you do a self-titled
that's
song.
bold, isn't it? It's bold.
Like I think all the songs here are like range from like fine to like Jesus is a friend of mine. Nothing is bad here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing is bad here.
One of the middle songs, the lady sounds like a B grade ABBA, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just it's cursed in a good way.
And
I like it.
that other perspective of the internet that we were missing if we weren't including this.
Yeah.
Sometimes comedy is unintentional, like The Room.
Yeah, a bit of that, but like more competent than The Room. It's like if The Room was like really engaging, I don't know, on some sort of tonal level,
Sure.
a bit like that.
Yeah.
Favorites is the self-titled, not the self-titled. So the favorite is the title track. There's no real least favorite. It's not really I actually hate off this. It's just it's a funny vibe.
I agree.
The rest
agree.
are fine. Yeah, good
And-
choice, by the way.
Yes,
Thank you.
I enjoy this.
Yeah,
choice better.
this is how Trix saved herself from Ninja Sex Party.
Jesus and Ninja Sex Party.
Jesus wins again.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum, but you know they come together, just
Mm.
like Danny Sexbang and Ninja
Jesus
Brian.
is true.
That's
I'm
right.
glad I did not go with my original plan of rickrolling you guys.
I would
Oh,
have been better than Ninja Sex Party.
I would have listened to the whole Rick Astley album. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have too, but I figured this was more fun.
Well, let's
it's
rank these.
time for the rankings. I'm
Oh.
ready to piss everybody off to start off anyway. Unsurprisingly,
for it.
least favorite is Ninja Sex Party. Then I'm putting the Lonely Island. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I don't hate it.
Wow.
I don't hate it, but I prefer Sonseed to it.
That's
and I
fine.
prefer the other albums to Sonseed. And then I'm probably biased, but I don't care. I think when it comes down to it, I enjoy the songs of Flight of the Conchords more than I enjoy them of Tenacious D. So it's Tenacious D second, Flight of the Conchords 1.
Yeah.
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 I think that my least favorite is Ninja Sex Party as well. Above that, because I didn't love anything from it super much. There were some good songs, but it's not that level. I'm gonna do Flight of the Conchords. After that, I'm gonna do Tenacious D because again, good songs, but a lot of flab. Then then Sonseed because Sonseed is just overall pretty good. And then Lonely Island because so many of those songs are fucking hits.
I am going to completely agree with your ranking, Domino. That again is Ninja Sex Party, Flight of the Conchords, Tenacious D, Sonseed, The Lonely Island.
Good. I'm gonna go down the bottom is Ninja Sex Party, Shock and Horror, and then probably Sonseed. As much as I enjoy that one track, probably won't ever listen to that EP ever again.
Oh, Jesus is a Friend of Mine is going on
It's-
the work playlist.
That's the single. And
It
then
stays
probably
on during sex.
from now on. And then the top three are like very. I guess it's probably Flight of the Conchords third, Lonely Island second, Tenacious D first.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
I think you have to go in like 2 minutes, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I've got tennis to play. I'm in a tournament.
Well, we
Sorry.
can
I
wrap
love you
this
and
up
leave you.
in a second. You want to plug your shit?
Oh, sure. Subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber called Minimme, Minimme, which was a terrible way to spell that when I was 8 years old. I review old video games on the internet, and it's fun. And yeah, enjoy.
He is
Thanks for
how
helping on, Pete.
he is how we got to be where we are now. It's all thanks to him.
In a very
Yeah.
roundabout way, kind of.
Shit, Pete, you remember when I came over and we played Roundabout?
Oh,
Good day.
oh,
Good day.
yeah, about 12 years ago. Good times.
Good game, I reckon. Everyone stop listening and play Roundabout.
It's a good game. Anyway, I might.
Thanks for hopping on,
duck
Pete.
out. No, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. This is so
Yes.
much fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Uh,
on here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever want me on again, I'd love to come on. It's so much fun. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Take care.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
And now with Pete gone, the true magic starts. What are we doing
Yeah.
next week? Dominic,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna pick. You said you're gonna pick a very similar style to me,
Yes.
so I'm gonna let you pick first. In the very off chance that you've stolen my pick,
I don't think I have.
we'll
but
see.
so I'm gonna go EP route this week, and I want to finish an artist that we've covered before, and I want to start talking about an artist that I saw at the Blind Equation show. That there's only 2 EPs out, so it's gonna be pretty quick to cover that too.
Fair enough.
So I want to talk about Flyover States, the Hey I Love You side project, or pretty much Hey I Love You but harder. They have 2 EPs out: Anti-Aircraft and Ghosts. And those are pretty quick EPs. There's like maybe 20 minutes of music there. So I'm also going to throw in the Awake But Still in Bed EPs that we haven't done yet. Stay Who You Are and Hymns for the Scorned, the split with For Your Health.
Trix, I'll let you pick the next one. You're not gonna steal my pick anyway, but
I'm not going to steal your pick, I know for a fact, because I have been planning this. The week before the comedy albums, I picked a homosexual industrial project with the intentions of picking possibly the gayest industrial project out there. And that is 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine.
Oh, yes.
oh.
Yes!
Well, I'm debating if I should pick this. I was planning on picking 2 here. I'm just debating if I should pick this just because it is completely different to the vibe. But maybe we do need some dissonance, you know.
That's what we do best.
So I guess the first one to pick here, it came out recently. No one should be surprised that I'm picking this. The new Hockey Dad album is out. Rebuild, repeat.
Hell
So we're listening to more Hockey Dad.
Hell yeah.
But the big Scrams album to talk about, and this is one that's interesting because we have covered the album, I guess, in some early capacity, because we got to listen to the demos that are now finally done, and the album finally came out. And this ties back to Your Arms and My Cocoon as well, especially with Tyler having promoted this band quite a bit. Dominic, do you want to make your guess yet? Can you steal the title from me? I'm giving you a chance to spoil my announcement.
No, but if you make me rip that CD so we can listen to that, I would totally figure that out and do it tonight.
Well, the answer is that we're covering the debut album from Doris, Four Trees.
All right.
4 Trees?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We listened to a bunch of the songs already in the Lord Gladstone comp. That was in a demo format. They're now official songs,
Hell yeah.
and they're on this. It is a full-fledged, full recorded album, which feels weird to say about any screamo artist in Australia, but we finally got one.
Now,
Hell yeah.
the thing I want to say before we sign off now, because of the things I'm trying to line up this coming month, July might be weird.
Yep.
All right.
So we may have to, depending on what happens or doesn't happen, we may have to pick some things in advance or kind of like shift things around after we've picked stuff. Depending on
Well,
when
I'm going to tell you
certain things
safely,
happen.
for the rest of this year, it is 2024. That is my focus for the rest of this year.
I don't have a focus. I think I'm going to just do more.
If we have a special episode that comes, that means I have to shit that focus for an episode, that's fine. But for every regular episode, I will be planning to pick a 2024 because there is so much I fucking need to listen to, and I need an excuse to listen to it.
Yeah, we gotta get that Donny Benet record covered too.
Yeah, that is on there actually. That was I saw Donny Benet live recently. That was that was great. There was actually a couple other stuff as well that I'd seen live, like with going with Doris, what I was tempted to pick, but I don't want to add more because it's another 30 minutes and I don't have the time. But I will pick at one point is the My Cries Fall on Deaf Ears, which is the upcoming screamer I want to highlight at some point. There's some from the other countries as well. Yeah, as you said, that Donny Benet is definitely a big one. There's Girl and Girl is another big one. This is just off the top of my head. On that, Royal Otis we haven't covered.
That's fair. Yeah, we haven't covered the Royal Otis album yet.
Idols, Middle Kids, they've done stuff. Yard Actors is a great one. There's some Tism stuff this year.
All right.
I know it's only like an EP, but it's still something that's still something.
That's fair.
There's a lot that can be covered.
So, once again, that is for next episode. The Awake with Still in Bed EP, Stay Who You Are. The Split with For Your Health and Awake with Still in Bed, Hymns for the Scorned. And then 2 Flyover States EPs, Anti-Aircraft and Ghosts. That's my picks. Trix picked 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine, fuck yeah. And Ritz picked Huggy Dad's Rebuild Repeat and Doris's 4 Trees.
Let's go.
And that's going to do it for Dissonant Waves.
Yeah.
My name is Dominic. You can catch me online at DACICHOCKI on Twitter. Dominic Chakotay on YouTube if you must. By the time this is out, we will likely have the Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories episode for the games my mom found out, or at least recorded. So I also do that podcast at least once a month. So go over there and check that out if you like.
I have been Ritalin. You can catch me on my website. That's probably in the description below. I'm mostly just posting on Instagram now, just the gig catch up. I need to actually write up some stuff for gigs. So I'll try and do that this week because I'm not dead this week. How cool is that? I don't sound like I've been coughing up shit. I can't wait for next week when I am.
Hell yes. I have been Trix. You can catch me chafing in a kitchen somewhere. Check us out online, YouTube channel, buy our merch, get a clock, get an apron, get a puzzle.
And Pete's stuff's going to be in the description below. That's going to do it for us. Have a great time, everybody.
And check out Dominic's GoFundMe.
Yeah. All right. And check out our Patreon. You have a Patreon now.
Yes.
You like our
Patreon.
stuff? Maybe subscribe. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too.
Hell yes.
Yes. Have a good night, good day, good whatever, everybody.
Bye.